Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this episode I'm going to take you on a full tour of how we went from this to the real thing. Roll intro.
How the hell did you manage that?
In all honesty, I have no idea. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So as mentioned, we are doing a full tour of the 350Z trade up challenge. It's just over a year since I started the YouTube channel and just under a year since I actually got 350Z. So yeah, I thought I'd do a quick tour of the entire thing. If people can't bother watching the full thing, here's a bit of a breakdown for you. So this is where it all began. This is where I began my whole YouTube journey after a friend of mine suggested I document some bits, give a bit of personality, a bit of nice touch to it, and create some videos for YouTube. What I'll do now is I'll jump into the video and give you all a rundown of exactly how it went down. But before I get started, there is going to be some people on here that go, oh, anyone can change a paperclip to a house. It's just what YouTube's used for. Well, truth be told, it's not that easy. And especially if you haven't got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers and you're not paid to do YouTube. As a result, it was very difficult. And yeah, it's been a bit of a process. But take you right back to the beginning where it all began. Before this moment happened. Decided to clean this. Okay, so here we are, the first ever video ever released. With this, we decided that the first video I was going to do was going to be the Trade Up Challenge series. Here you can see the 350Z before we started the trade. The next bit you see is basically these are the three cars that I got for said trade. And I already had some rough ideas, but I thought I'll strip them down, bring them back to kind of a clean approach, and then we can carry on with it. The first two was quite easy to kind of like take apart and everything, but then when we reached the Cosy Coupe, it became problem after problem, from dirt on it to rust to other issues. It was just an all-round horrendous thing to kind of try and fix. Like I say, we got a bit of dirt in the eye, but some of it on the fingers as well. I actually don't have a clue what that was. It stunk, but it was all over the damn thing. So yeah, we got it fully stripped down, fully taken apart. We did put a few holes in it in the process, but there was a bigger picture behind the Cosy Coupe build and the other two. But the Cosy Coupe was the one that I was kind of going to focus on first. So took them out, gave them a really good clean down, made sure to get off all the gunk, dirt, grime and stuff. The Cosy Coupe was just disgusting, as you saw in the other bits of clip. It was absolutely vile, but we made do with it. We persevered and we cracked on, and there they all are, all cleaned, all ready to go. And yeah, we're ready for the next bit. So due to my extreme recklessness of taking it apart and using a drill to kind of get the rest of the bolts out, we did make a mess of it. We did have to use some filler, some very terrible filler work, but we made do with it. Here's me getting ready for paint because, well, yeah, I thought I'd leave the really bad edited bit in just for entertainment purposes. But yeah, we got this stuff sorted. That's probably the only time you'll ever see me in painting gear. And then we started with the primer. I decided to go with the Cosy Coupe to start with just because the whole process for the Cosy Coupe was going to be a bit more bespoke, a bit more original, and obviously keeping with a theme. So the next part was to get a bit more detail on this. I wanted to give it a bit of a front grille using the paint that I'd already used, and it was painted silver by this point. I did miss that entire bit out, but yeah, we went with the black highlights and kind of just kept it to that kind of cool look. This is me giving a bit of a peel, trying to do the whole ASMR thing, completely failing at it, and just making an absolute mess. But it turned out okay, better than I originally thought, and there was a little bit of touch-ups that needed doing. So we got most of it fitted together. As you can see, the bad work that I'd done previously was still there. We then wanted to get the side paint on it, and if you know the sort of design from this point, we were going for the Fast and Furious Nissan Skyline. I then wanted to fit it with neons because, I mean, through childhood, neons were always fun. So we decided, get neons on, and lo and behold, that's how they looked. We did add a couple of little highlight bits, just a little bit of a spoiler, just to kind of add a bit. And then I do t-shirt printing. So we basically cut out stickers for the vehicle so that it would have the original sort of look to it. I was really happy with how these all turned out, and this is the kind of final process of it. So as you can see, it is the one from Fast and Furious. We then moved on to the next ones, which was obviously the two smaller cars, which I didn't really want to do a theme with. I just wanted to get them looking nice. So we got them sprayed up, got them ready to go, and then we added the Rover green colour to it. It wasn't a massive project and not a massive undertaking. I love the colour on this, by the way. And yeah, that's all of them put together, all sorted out, ready to go to the new homes. I did get these traded, and all was a success. So here we got the next bit. This was the other part to it. So once we traded in them, we then picked up this. It was a old Jag alloy wheel. I think it was like 21 inches. Alloy wheel, brand new, never used, never been put on a car. My plan for it was to basically take that and turn it into a coffee table. So I went through the process, got everything that I needed, and then we basically made a start with it. Here you can see me obviously cutting out the base for the table, and basically just getting that all prepared. There was problem after problem with this, stuff not cutting in a straight line. As you can see, my health and safety in all of these videos is absolutely appalling. Health and safety still hasn't improved, but we're still here. The next part was going to be to fit a brake disc underneath the wheel. So we were going to bolt it through in the holes, so I lined them all up. My neighbour helped me drill the holes, and we get it all ready to go. There you can see the table in the background where it's all painted black, all sorted. The legs are now put on it. We then gave the alloy wheel a lick of paint, gave it that black look so it kind of bounce off with the LED strips that I'm actually fitting within the brake disc. This was a bit of a pain, different measurements, wrong size sort of LEDs to start with, having to rewire them so they'd fit in properly. But all in all, I thought it turned out quite well. Here you can see the actual end product where it's all fitted together. We've got the plastic top on the coffee table, and the whole wheel is finished, and I was really happy with that. Needless to say, a bespoke item like a coffee table is difficult to do, and with the least amount of subscribers I had, it was difficult to get it out there. However, my friend Reese did come in with a fantastic offer, and this is me going to go pick up the next part of it. So Reese is a good friend of mine, and he owns Gnarly Motor Company and is car sales people. He got this in as a part exchange and basically got in touch with me and said, look, I have this, let's do a trade. So we ended up with a Mark IV Vauxhall Astra. There was problems with it. The wing mirrors didn't match. The side trims had all scuffed up. The inner door panel had kind of like torn and shredded a little bit, and it was running on basic good old-fashioned Steelies. As you can see from the interior, there was a fair amount of work to try and kind of correct, but I came up with an idea. We ended up going to a scrapper's, and we needed to fix the boot lock. So we started with that, and then here's me actually attempting to take off the door panel. It went really, really bad, and obviously it took a lot longer than was originally anticipated. Here, again, the wing mirror, easy enough to take off, but I did drop a screw inside the door panel. And here it is, not so much of a big reveal, but we have the fully fitted door panel, the wing mirror on there, and the door card is also replaced and repaired. And here's me fitting the side bits. These were super easy to put on. It was just a matter of tapping them off, sliding them back on with the new ones that we got. It was an XL, but I think we replaced it with the LS just because those were the ones that I managed to get hold of. We then wanted to refurb the headlights for the vehicle, and I'd seen a couple of things on how to do this, so I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go, see how they turn out. And in all honesty, it was a lot easier than I originally thought, and the end result for me was so much better than I originally anticipated. There you go, you can see both comparisons. I'd still not finished it at this point. There was still a little bit more to do on the bottom one, and then to do the full one top. Here I'm doing obviously the alloy wheels that we got. We did ended up with some OZ Racing alloy wheels. Got them really cheap enough, brand new tyres on them pretty much. And yeah, here is me replacing the wheels. Pretty obvious what I'm doing, but you're getting a full narration with this. Yeah, it was a bit of a pain. There was actually a spacer within the original alloy, which had to come out, which I didn't know was there. But once we got that out, we got the wheels on, and all was good in the sense of that. I then had to give it a once-over clean. Like, this thing was filthy still, but it was very, very minor detail in comparison to the bigger picture. Once the bodywork was done, I could then get to actually work on the vehicle itself, making it nice and clean. And this were the final bits. So obviously you can see the headlights are completely back to refreshed normal. Obviously the bodywork is still not the greatest, but it's a whole complete car. And this is the lady who came to pick it up and took it off the drive. And yeah, we were on to the next trade. So after the success of Brian, a friend of mine who owns a specialized custom Sierra Beaver, I think it is, wanted me to kind of go and do him one for his little girl that matched his car. So I started off with the original Cosy Coupe. This was a full-blown strip down to the point of where the wheels were taken off, and we were doing a big custom job on this. The whole intent was basically to get it to look as close to his car as humanly possible. So there it is, all stripped down, all broken apart. The next bit that I had to do was to make the wheels custom. So obviously I had to cut through this. This was an absolute nightmare. I was using the wrong tools, things were going wrong, but we got it cut down and we got it sorted. We then started to remove the stickers, just a bit of heat, a bit of a scraper, and this thing peeled off pretty quick and pretty easy, as you can see here. Well, maybe I thought it was a bit easier than that, but yeah, we got it peeled off in the end, and we did that with all the stickers. The next bit was then to kind of make sure that the metal rod that I'd got was ready and good to go, so we could lower the profile and give it that lowered look. As you can see from that, front wheels are sticking out a little bit more. But yeah, the next part we had to do was the wheels. So the plan was to use the dog bowl, cut out the inner of the wheel, and place the dog bowl inside it and stick it in there best as we possibly could. So the next bit, I used some CAD, some cardboard aided design, to make sure everything was fit and secured. Here it is all put together, ready to draw around, ready to get cutting, and then we're on to the next bit. So I didn't have anything that could cut it specifically. I didn't have any circles, circle drill bits or anything. So we end up using heat and tried our best to do the best amount we could. This is me heating up the actual plastic once the original chunk's out so that we can slide in the dog bowl, and hey presto, it fits. There was a bit of gluing that needed to be done, and it didn't hold as well as I hoped. I probably should have used an epoxy if I was going to do it again. That's where we'd go. But as you can see, there it is, all fitted together. The wheels are on. We just needed to put the back wheels on at this point. But as you can see, the bolt holds it in place nicely. It keeps it secure. The only thing is, it wasn't a rolling vehicle, and there you go. All the wheels are on, everything's sorted, and looking well. So as mentioned, this was a complete custom job. The guy who I'm doing it for had a front splitter on his car, so we decided we were going to make one of those. So what I used was like garden trellis sort of thing. So the bit that goes between like your dirt and your actual grass in your garden, that's what that is. So we heated it up, we got it to a certain temperature, we weighted it down with some bricks to kind of give it this sort of straightened edge. We then got spray adhesive, got it sprayed on there, stuck it together to make it extra thick. Here's the template that I originally did with CAD, and we're now still cutting it out and we're getting it ready to go. It was a pain, but the plus side to this, it was thin enough to be cut with scissors. So you didn't have the whole hassle of trying to cut it with a saw or snapping the plastic or anything. It was just soft plastic, good to go. Bit of black spray paint onto that, and it was honestly absolutely spot on. I then decided to do a bit of another modification. We added two big exhausts on the back, and here it is, getting ready, primed, getting sorted, getting good to go for the paintwork. It was a bit of a custom one. Again, there was parts that were white, parts that were black. I obviously had to make sure that those lines didn't break, and it was quite a long process. But I'll just cut through to the best bits and we'll carry on with the video. So as you can see from the next bit, we got the colour on, we got the paint on. It was just the finishing touches that needed to be done. It did have some original headlights, but what I did was I used some permanent vinyl, badly wrapped, as you can see there, but we added a bit of colour to the lights to kind of give it that extra bit of pizzazz, so to speak. And yeah, we kind of just then, I got some new replacement stickers for it, gave it the finishing coats, gave it the finishing touches, added the original little Tykes bits back on, and cracked on. And then Reese came back with a brand new trade for me. This one, again, absolute steal. The clear was good, it worked. There was a few issues with it. Nothing major cosmetic-wise, it was a bit more mechanical, but way beyond my pay grade and way beyond my knowledge. So we didn't touch that mechanically. We did take it to a garage and get that arranged to be sorted, and we give it just a really good clean. As you can see there, all the dirt that was just pouring out because this thing had been sat under a tree. But there's the final product. It's just cleaned up, it's looking nice. There was a couple of bits, like I said, the headlights, I believe, needed just a bit of freshening up. Nothing major. No major problems or anything. It was a good car. There was actually one major problem, which was the gearbox, which turned into a bit of a fiasco, but we got that sorted in the end. Here's me just giving the lights a bit of a clean. Obviously, we didn't go full detail with it, and we didn't take the sandpaper to it because it didn't need it. But as you can see there, it's looking fresh, it's looking nice, and that was the original sort of look. As you can see, there wasn't massive amounts to do to it. But yeah, it looked good. We then got a brand new aerial fitted for it. There was a plastic trim bit that needed fitting, and then this bit here was the door seal. The door seal had peeled away, but we got it all fixed up. We got a brand new door seal put in and sorted. Then was the big part. Here you can see me actually on the journey to go to the biggest trade. I ended up going down to London for this one. So this is me on my delightful journey, tripping through the countryside on my way to London. Here we've arrived, we jumped off at King's Cross. My connecting train was really quickly, so I actually ran across London from King's Cross to the other station. And it was a lot quicker that way anyway. But here I am, I've just taken a little bit of sights. Beautiful car, had to be shown. And yeah, this is where we ended up jumping on the next train to get to the final destination. It was a long journey, it was a long trip. I was out for the full day. It cost me like £140 just for the train tickets, so it wasn't great, but I mean, it needed to be done because this trade could not be missed. And here is me, smiling, happy as Larry, because we finally made it, and I see it for the first time, and I'm over the moon. Just like that, we had arrived, and it was in front of me. The 350Z, the deal of a century, the final piece of the trade puzzle was right there in front of me, down south, and it was an absolute steal. It did have issues, we can't deny that. Like, there were certain things that were just not right about it. Obviously, the headlights are kind of still dirted and everything, and the UV damaged quite badly. There was rust on the rear arch, which is common for these kind of cars. The front bonnet is aluminium and it's oxidized, and it's kind of caused like a little bit of bubbling. And when I actually turned up, the check engine light was on, and basically one of the injectors was misfiring. But they were all fixable problems, all things that could be sorted. A lot of it was kind of hit and hope. This thing is 120,000 miles on it. It's not a young car. It's got the mileage there. And in all honesty, I love this car so much. There is some more work to do to this. I have already done it, and if you look on my channel, you'll be able to see some of the other videos where I've fixed certain little bits. But there is still a lot more to do to this. The window needs replacing. It needs taking out and sorting again. There's a little chip in the window. One of the windows has just dropped recently. I plan on swapping all the coolant pipes, getting everything sorted for it, but it is a long way off. Okay, there we have it. So that is the full tour of the 350Z trade-up challenge. As you can see, it is here. It is lovely. But that's not the end of it. So there is a couple of videos where I start tinkering with it and stuff. However, we have got to a point where at this moment in time, it's not financially viable to be fixing that up all the time and stuff. I replaced the battery on it recently, and it's basically died. The alternator's not doing its job, and this thing currently has 0 battery whatsoever. So it will be getting put away until further notice, which is sad because I absolutely love this thing. But there's certain things that are more priority right now. But yeah, so thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, thank you for liking and subscribing, really appreciate it. I'm going to link the playlist for the full thing, so if you do want to watch it in more detail, you can go there and view that. And I'll also link in there the RX-7 one, which is the newest trade-up challenge that we've started. So yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.